In the lobby affair around Greensill and the British ex-Prime Minister, new details emerge. The relationship between politics and business is now illuminated. David Cameron felt just how damning a photo can be this week. The Wall Street Journal exclusively published a picture from the year 2020, which shows the former British Prime Minister drinking tea with fintech entrepreneur Lex Greensill. The two sit very familiar around the campfire in front of a desert tent. They flew to Riyadh on Greensill's private jet and were entertained there by the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The desert scene immediately became the symbol of the latest lobby scandal in London. Conservative Prime Minister Boris Johnson this week opened an independent investigation into his predecessor and fellow party member Cameron. Attorney Nigel Boardman is due to report by June. From the perspective of the Labour opposition, this is just a delaying tactic. They call for a committee of inquiry. Opposition leader Keir Starmer said on Wednesday that the feeling and nepotism in the heart of this government must be stopped. As a key witness, he quoted Cameron as saying, "Sunlight is the best disinfectant." Cameron first brought the Australian Greensill into the government as a consultant in 2012. After his resignation as Prime Minister, he himself became an advisor to the supply chain financier. Since Greensill Capital went bankrupt in March, more and more details of how Cameron stood up for his employer have been revealed. Among other things, he urged Finance Minister Rishi Sunak with private text messages to include Greensill as a lender in the Corona programs. He has also arranged drinks with Minister of Health Matt Hancock to get Greensill contracts from the National Health Systems, the NHS. At the weekend, Cameron commented on his role in the scandal for the first time after weeks of silence. He should have chosen formal channels instead of private text messaging, he admitted. However, he did not want to admit any wrongdoing. Indeed, it appears that he has largely acted within the framework of the regulations. The fact that the lobby rules allow politics and business to be so close is the real scandal for the opposition. As the Financial Times revealed, a top official in the Cameron government, the chief of public procurement, even worked for the government and Greensill at the same time. The affair highlights an old problem. Young heads of government like Cameron and before him Tony Blair and ex-Chancellor Gerhard Schröder want to continue working after they have left politics. Opinions differ on what is politically justifiable, however. Cameron's vice, Nick Clegg, for example, switched to the tech group Facebook as a lobbyist. Cameron himself went to Greensill and is now unlucky that the company is pilloried for fraudulent accounting and high investor losses. In Germany, for example, numerous municipalities will be left with losses of millions because they entrusted their money to the Greensill Bank in Bremen. Cameron's reputation isn't the best since losing the Brexit referendum in 2016. Now the lobby affair is casting another shadow over his tenure. It is questionable whether Johnson's government will tighten lobbying rules. He shared the concern that borders were not properly understood, the Prime Minister said on Wednesday. The Tories wanted to block the investigative committee called for by Labour on Wednesday afternoon. And I really know what I'm talking about when I say there needs to be an investigation, and practices like this have to be really looked closely on. Because we had the same stuff in Germany with some members of parliament recently and from my own party. And these idiots were putting money into their pockets during Corona. Instead of just helping to find suppliers, they made a lot of money with that and have been kicked out or asked to leave if they did that voluntarily. So this is not something funny. This is maybe inside the current legal framework. But then there's a problem with the legal framework, and I'm absolutely open. The Christian Democrats in the Bundestag are not going far enough at the moment with the new regulations to prevent stuff like this. They need to be harder. Of course, has to be a balance, because MPs should still be attached to their old profession. We don't want all public servants just in the parliament. We want people from, real life in parliament. And so that they are not that clinging to their seats for whatever the cost. They need to have some attachment to their old jobs so they can go back to them if they leave parliament. But with regard to this, and with keeping that in mind, the rules still have to be stricter than they are now. Not only in the UK, but in Germany as well. And so otherwise, we are in danger to end up like in some other countries where we don't want to end up. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. Auf Wiedersehen.